Hey, so I am going live on my phone because my computer's not working. So that's exciting. So I've got that going for me. So if you can see me on my phone and you can see this live, just give me a thumbs up or a heart or something and let me know you can see me. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to end up talking to myself, and nobody wants that, especially me. So, okay, here we go. Hello. I'm sorry for being late. I don't know what's wrong with my computer. Hopefully you can see me on my phone. And I hope your week has been wonderful. My name is Cassandra McGowan, and I host this group, Free the Wisdom to Heal the Body. And this gives me an opportunity to teach people about something that I call thought pain therapy. And that focuses around the links between our thoughts and our emotional, mental, physical, spiritual pain and anxiety. So today we are going to finish last week's question from Emily, which was, I'm interested in how my reality might be different from another person's reality. That is, if I believe something to my core and they believe the exact opposite to their core, and we're both good people, how can we coexist or come together? I know this is not a body question, but I've been wondering. So this is an excellent question, which helps us look deeply and profoundly at reasons for suffering. However, unlike my previous talks, where I focus on pain in a part of the body or disease and the thoughts and emotions linked to those sensations and experiences, today I'm going to enter the realm of suffering kind of from the opposite direction. So I'm going to talk about thoughts that can cause pain or disease in the body in a myriad of ways. So thank you, Emily, for this question, as it opens up a different level of discussion. So I hope you'll all continue to leave comments with your own questions and your own thoughts about the nature of pain and suffering from any part of your system. And if so, we can continue these fascinating discussions brought on by your brilliant minds. So to begin, I need to set a foundation for what it means to have core beliefs. So let's start with some psychology and how it's believed that we form our personal reality. Our personality is formed through a combination of three factors, creating what is called a biopsychosocial model. Now, the first factor is biology or genetics, meaning that some of who you are is related to the genes you received. And this means that your predilection to openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, or neuroticism could be related to that of your parents. And these qualities are on a continuum, which means that on one end of the stick would be extroversion, and on the other end would be introversion. And you could be anywhere along that line or that stick. And if you want to know more about this, you can look up the Big Five personality test, or OCEAN, OCEAN, and it is absolutely fascinating. The second factor is the psychology or learned environment in which you grew up. So this relates to how you were raised, with positive or negative reinforcement or punishment, which is called operant conditioning, as well as other factors, of course, especially trauma-related experiences, which fit into entirely different categories. And if you wish to talk more about types of trauma and how that affects the body, please drop me a comment. We can talk more about that, and it's very fascinating. And lastly, in the biopsychosocial model is your socialization or your socio-environment. And this is the information that you received and imprinted on in terms of everything outside your body and your home life. So this means society, media, teachers, friends, other family, coaches, neighbors, basically all the things and all the ways. So in sum, each of our personalities are incredibly varied and entirely unique. And that doesn't even begin to discuss our spirituality or reason for being, our purpose here, our karma, our past lives, our relationship to Creator, our connection to universal energy, and the meaning of our life. So, of course, all these awarenesses and energetic states also contribute to the combination of our biopsychosocial identity, forming our body, mind, and soul. And this is referred to as our reality tunnel. So imagine this personal and private space that exists around all of us. So each person has this tunnel, and in that exists all the thoughts that make up everything they absolutely know to be true. And this is based on their multifaceted and completely diverse beingness, awarenesses, and experiences. So in other words, there is no one like anyone else. As different as we look in person, we're far more different on the inside. However, just like we may share similarities in appearance, based on environment, genetics, ethnicity, amongst so many other things, we may also share similarities amongst our personalities. And people tend to gravitate towards those that share similar beliefs. And they do that based on several different factors. One of which is called consensual validation. So basically, it means that it makes us feel more confident when people agree with us. As an example, since I love cats, meeting another cat lover tells me that loving cats is okay. And in fact, maybe it's even a virtue. We also want cognitive validation. So when we meet someone that shares something in common with us, well, we feel more positively about them because we feel positively about us. And we might even then attribute to this person other likable characteristics because we're eager to be liked. And we assume that people who think like us are more likely to like us. And our desire for these kind of social in-groups creates a likelihood that we will surround ourselves with those that think like us and agree with us, which may sound like fun, and it is, but it can also be dangerous. It can lead to limiting kind of the intake of information from individuals and sources that disagree with what we already believe to be true based on our reality tunnels. And thus, that closes us off from information that could contribute to our personal growth and awareness. Because, you see, your reality tunnel, well, it's different than mine. It must be. And mine is different from his and hers, even if they agree with me or share interests with me. My personal reality is not universal truth. Neither is theirs, and honestly, don't hate me, neither is yours. These are just our personal truths, our personal realities, and only that. And when we focus more on what we agree with and what we don't, well, our reality becomes more and more closed off to other people's realities that disagree with ours. It feels comfortable in our reality tunnel. It's cozy. We know exactly how things should be. We lived it. There's no question about what's true or right unless we question whether or not we're right. But remember, we're only talking about our personal truths. So for universal truths, well, they exist outside of a person's individualized reality. And yes, this means that even though I may think I hold the flaming sword of rightness, which is what I call it when I'm convinced that I'm right, it doesn't mean that I am. I'm only right for myself. So, to get back to the root of Emily's question, this is how we can have different core beliefs between people that don't agree. And as such, they can make us feel very, very uncomfortable. And this can lead to judgment of others who believe things that we don't believe and do things that we wouldn't do. And this can create great fear in us. And then anger, which stems from that fear. as we battle our personal feelings of rightness in the face of another person's contrary belief. Well, this can cause us to get very emotionally upset. And as we know, this leads to physical upset as it decreases our energetic immunity. And as I've explained before, our beliefs about our experiences affect our feelings, which in turn can cause pain and suffering in the body. And if we're unable to release or reframe or reconcile these contrary feelings, well, we suffer. And we can be in pain and even manifest disease. So, what can we do to help us come together and coexist, as Emily asked? Well, here's some suggestions to help you release this mental suffering and thus help heal your mind and your body. So the first is recognize the difference between judgment and discernment. This is really important. Discernment is deciding if something is right for you. Judgment is deciding if something is right for someone else. But how can you truly know? Especially comprehending like you do now that their reality and personal truths are likely unrecognizable to you and may simply be beyond your level of understanding. So stick with discernment. Let another's words and actions that are decidedly not in alignment with your own be a welcome contrast for your awareness of what is right for you and only you. And understand that even with these differing core beliefs like religion and politics, it doesn't inherently mean that one person is a better or holier or righter or kinder person than another. Spend time with people who don't think like you. Surround yourself with people that challenge you, the things you do and the things you think. If you're a hardcore jazz enthusiast, don't just hang out with other jazz enthusiasts. If you only love fiction, well, ask for someone else's, recommendation for their non-fiction favorite. Stretch yourself outside of your reality tunnel. It may feel unsafe at first because it won't be comfortable, but ultimately, it's the only way to find truth. And lastly, if you imagine that everything you think, you say, and you do is like writing a letter to the universe or God saying, "This is who I am." Well, do you like the story you've been writing? Are you living your truths? Focus on becoming your own hero. So thank you for joining me today, especially on my phone. Again, I hope you can see me and I hope I can read comments. And let's go and see who's here today and if we have more questions. And I'm going to have to put my glasses on to see my phone here. So, hi, Hannah. Hi, Susie. Hi, Emily. Thank you for all of your questions that led us to today's answers. Randall, you can see me, but it looks different than it normally does. Hopefully I look cuter and sound better and smarter. Let's hope for that. Rosalie, hi. Good to see you. Irene, love to have you here. Thank you. Karma, thank you for joining us. You're awesome too. Yes, express your inner truths. Thank you. Let's see. Emily, this was so helpful. Do you think you might do more on this topic? I'd like to learn more about writing a letter to myself. You know, yeah, we could do more on that if you guys wanted to. It's kind of a focal point of my life and how I live it. Susan says, I really appreciate and value your explanation of the differences between discernment and judgments. Yes, I came up with that several years ago, and it really helped me put down that flaming sword of rightness. Because what I found is, when I'm on my hill with my flaming sword, well, everyone else is not on my hill. And it made me aware that if I'm right and I'm the only person that's right, that means that everyone who disagrees with me is wrong. And that just doesn't seem fair or really inherently true. So yeah, I kind of focus on what's right for me and let other people choose what's right for them. Do you think emotions can get trapped in your body? Susie, that's such a valuable question. In fact, there's even a term for it in people who get body work done or do body work of different sorts called a somato-emotional response, which means, for instance, somebody could be touched on their neck, let's say in a massage, and have that bring up old emotions and memories of trauma, maybe when they were held by their neck, or even something more simple than that, someone's lower back can be stroked. And it can bring up feelings of being struck when you were a child or spanked. So definitely emotions are held in the body. In fact, we say in bodywork that your cells have memories, and they hold everything that's ever been experienced by you in this lifetime, and if you believe it, in other lifetimes. And I'm going long, so if you need to sign off, totally understand. But I'm going to keep answering questions. Sherry, oh, so good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. Jill, excellent info. This is something I'm dealing with right now. Well, good. Very timely. Hi, gorgeous. Hi, back. Janice, perfect thoughts for today. So helpful in today's world. Oh, I'm so glad. Tara, thank you for being here. And I have a new guest, and I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm just going to say S. Marie. Thank you for coming. I hope I said something that was interesting or inspiring or informative. Sue says she would like more of this. Okay, well, I will think about maybe how I can add to this. And if you're watching this after I sign off, please put your thoughts, your questions, your comments, your concerns, your disagreements in there with me. And I would love to go back before I do our next live on Monday, which I haven't decided for a topic. So here's your chance at fame. You can decide a topic for me. And in the meantime, take care of yourself for me. And thank you for joining. Bye.